Okay, I'm going to try to do this in less than 10 minutes. And these are the 10 top topics that when I post on Facebook, that I get questions on. And so because we're in the world of coaching student athletes and parents and teachers and trainers, it's going to be obviously centered around human performance. So here we go, 10 and 10. So first one's politics and sports. People all the time will tell me things about like, well, my kid doesn't get to play, or I don't get to play because I don't have the right last name in my town. And here's the problem, is you're not going to be in your town forever, probably. Some of you will be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're not going to be in your town forever, so that can't be your story. That can't be, if that's something, you can't control that unless you're going to have a different name. So there's no sense in putting emphasis or the focus on something that you can't control. So don't tell yourself that story. That might be somewhat true. It might look like it's really true, but if you tell yourself that story, that's a disempowering belief. That's a disempowering story. So choose to be inspired by stories that are going to lead to your successes and to your growth, and get really clear on that. So instead of that situation being one where you say, well, I just don't have the right last name. And a lot of times parents will make the mistake of saying this in front of their kids, and then all of a sudden that becomes true, even if it's not really true. And if it is true, who cares? Because you can't control that. So what you can control is your actions and the way that you actually deal with that. So tell yourself a story that gives you the control and puts the focus back on you in a positive way, and don't blame somebody else. That's blaming, being a victim. That's not going to work. That's not going to be a way that you can sustainably progress and be successful in life. So that was number one in politics and sports. Number two, excuses. Excuses are not the same thing as knowing what the cause of a problem was and identifying, recognizing the cause so that you can solve the problem and move forward. Often people get confused with complaining versus seeing what's going wrong so that you can make improvements. And it's not negative to see what's going wrong. That's just an evaluation. So staying there and getting stuck there and saying the same thing over and over again, that's complaining, that's being stuck, that's static, that's not dynamic, that's not moving forward, that's not an abundance mindset, that's a scarcity mindset. And you want to typically stay clear of that. Number three, officials. This is a big one, especially in sports. You can't control the officials, and they're humans. They're going to make mistakes. They may make more mistakes than you think is okay, and that's fine too. Maybe they should be better, but like, unless you're going to be all of a sudden the person who's in charge of being an administrator with the officials and try and help them become better, again, like, it's outside of what you can control. So why bother? Don't put the outcome or the emphasis on them, and it won't be on them. If your emphasis is growth and development, they can't stop you from growth and development. They just can't do that. So take control of the situation. Do not blame other people. Do not shift the focus on them. People don't show up to watch the officials. They show up to watch the performance, and the performance is with the participants. And the official is just there to be like a moderator, a facilitator, and to make sure people are being like sportsmanlike, basically, and abiding by the rules. So that's number three, officials. Number four, circumstances. Circumstances don't make the person. They don't make the champion or the person who loses. They just are part of the environment. So whatever you choose to embrace or deny as part of your circumstances of your life, of your performance, that's completely up to you. You decide. That's on you. So again, circumstances, get leverage with them. They can be obstacles that allow you the opportunity to showcase your skills and overcome them. So the more obstacles there are on a course, the easier it is to differentiate yourself from the other people, because you have more and more stumbling blocks or opportunities to showcase your level of preparation, not your talent, your level of preparation. That's the point here. Talent, again, is going to look like something that's more about like the static world versus the dynamic world where you can create your opportunities. Number five, be proactively coachable. We teach this, and I talk about this every day, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on whichever way you want to look at it, people don't hear it at first. They don't know what it really means. It means if you're the student athlete, or if you're somebody who has a mentor, or you have a coach, or you have a boss, then being proactively coachable means seeking out and imploring that others coach you, that they mentor you, that they teach you, and giving them like some challenges. Hey, I need help in this. Be specific with what you need help for. Be specific with what your questions are. How can I better serve this team? How can I contribute more on this team? What do I need to do to improve as a player that's going to help more on this team? Here's the reason why I say be specific, because if you're on a team, you're probably already in the position right now where it's most helpful for your coach, but it might not be the best place that you want to be, but it might be the best place right now for the team. So it might be a year before you get to where you want to be, and that it's actually helpful for the team. Meaning, if you want to be the starting quarterback, but you already have a starting quarterback, and it's more helpful for you to be a fullback, then you're a fullback. Or if it's more helpful for you to be a guard, then you're a guard if it's football. But, and this is a big but, you can ask them how you can progress, how you can build some skills in that area to be more valuable to the team and to your future. And if you ask the coach, they'll help you. That's the thing, like most of the student athletes don't know that, hey, listen, it's on you to be coached. It's on you to be to show up and to say, hey, I need help with this, or can you help me with this, or what would you do if you were me? That's, you're looking for guidance from them, and you can show that you have confidence and trust that they can get you there, and you have to ask them. You have to ask them to be a part of your journey. That's really important. That's being proactively coachable. Number 6, find a way. There will be a way. Ryan Holiday talks about the obstacle is the way. Whatever's the way is the way. You decide what's the way. Like, you're the person that's in this story. You are the lead character. This is your movie. You dictate where it goes and where it doesn't go. You're the one that has the camera and you're pointing it in different directions. So find a way. You have to start with the assumption, presuppose that you will find a way. And then, believe it or not, that is when your reticular activating system actually finds a way. When you recognize that you can do it, you will probably do it because it will show you when it's ready. That's like Michael Neal talks about with his Creating the Impossible podcast, is it'll show up when it's ready, but you have to do the work and believe that you will, overcome whatever the obstacle is, and you'll find a way. Number 7, fear not failure. And I actually mean that. Fear not failure. You're going to fail. Get used to failing, because the higher you want to rise, the more you're going to have to fail. So, and that being said, like, choose inspiring stories to gravitate towards, and realize that at the your deepest, darkest hour, that is when there's going to be the greatest opportunity to increase. That doesn't mean seek out to fail horrifically. That just means you're going to probably fail a ton of times before you get that big win. And so just realize that when you fail, recognize what you did wrong, what you did right, and how it can be improved upon, and then move forward. But there's no sense in fearing it. And you can't necessarily control whether or not you fear it, so just have the courage to overcome that fear by taking the intelligent, practice, prepared upon steps that you need to get past it. Number 8, create a culture of growth. And you do that through your habitat. And that's through your habits. Your habits create that habitat. That's your culture or your environment of growth. And that means get really, really clear that that's what you're trying to do, is grow, to get better. And when that is what your goal is, then it's not as much about the losing or winning as much as about, did I improve? Okay? Did I improve? That's creating a culture of growth. Number 9, creativity. Creativity is huge. It's not always that you drilled, but sometimes that you played is where creativity comes from. So allow yourself the flexibility in a moment, in an environment, in a situation, to get creative with what might be possible if you just try. And number 10, and this is the last one, is focus. If you're looking to flow, or to be in a state of flow, you have to be in the here and now, meditatively typically, and that means you need to focus on the present and only the present. Don't be focusing on anything outside of what is going on right now. And that's the top 10. I hope it was helpful. I was able to do it in less than 10 minutes, so boom, checking that one off my list.